Well, Chad, it is time. I cliffhanged you last night. It was very rude of me, but we're back now. The rematch. Bulls and Rockets, Jordan versus Olajuwon. Michael Jordan and the Rockets took it in Game 7 by 2 points, with Olajuwon missing the game-tying shot at the buzzer. But the Bulls are back, baby, in the final. A victory for the Bulls means this era is over, and we move on to the next one, starting from scratch, essentially. A loss means it continues, as both of us continue to hurdle our way towards the 1992 Shaquille O'Neal draft. Ideally, I would not let it get there, because it becomes a toss-up again at that point. Again, for my Chicago Bulls, I am unfortunately without my starting point guard, Mark Jackson. So some random scrub, Trevor Mobley, is that man, because I traded Spud Webb for a pick in that previously mentioned 1992 draft. So I did not have as good of a backup point guard as I could have, because I'm foolish. Shooting guard, though, is Joe Dumars. Keith Edmondson behind him. Forward, Scottie Pippen, Kenny Walker, Dennis Hobson. Power forward, Horace Grant, John Sally. And, of course, at center, the big man, Akeem Olajuwon. Hasn't yet gotten the H. Hopefully he gets a chip before that. With Bill Walton and Kurt Nymphius behind him. The Rockets look like this. At point guard, Maurice Cheeks, and the now two-time Sixth Man of the Year, Michael Adams. At guard, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. You may have heard of him. At forward, the injured for a week or two, Dominique Wilkins. Might help me a little bit. At power forward, Michael Thompson and Greg Anderson. And at center, no Ralph Sampson this year, because he's on Chat's Clippers. They got a dude named Clint Jamison. And Paul McKeskey, who looks like an overweight OG Kevin Bacon. Has the field been equalized? Or is Michael Jordan still too much for the Bulls to deal with? We're going to find out. We are going to find out. I'm keeping it at a shorter bench. It is game number 1. Rockets and Bulls, as we get a look there at the starting lineups. Jordan at forward to let Michael Adams play. Smart. Let's do it. We've seen all the hype before. Game number 1 in Chicago. The Bulls do have home court in this series, unlike last year. A lot has changed, but a lot of things are the same. It's a 4-point lead for the Bulls with 2 minutes to go. We love ourselves a close game, do we not? It'll be Rockets ball to kick off the action as we follow along.
Here's Jordan.
Michael Jordan. On the drive. Gets the layup. Because it's Michael frickin' Jordan.
It is a given. Jordan loves delivering in these big moments. When it's an important possession, he wants the ball and the shot. Dumars, the pass to Olajuwon.
Ball to Olajuwon. Olajuwon gets it to go. Overpowers their no-name center. At least in comparison. Ozzy, what's up? You haven't missed much NBA-wise. We just switched. As Jordan draws a foul. Dumar is having trouble shutting down Jordan. We did have a pretty successful run in Madden in terms of rebuilding. Not so much in terms of winning. Unfortunately. MJ to the line. The line to the line.
They've been getting it up and down in transition, and that takes effort. And that hurts
Misses the first.
Jordan wants the ball in his hand.
A missed free throw from Jordan.
Great deal of confidence in his abilities, and rightfully so.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets.
Why does Houston's font look like the McDonald's place text? Because it might be.
Hey, by missing that free throw now,
Jordan hits that second shot. 3-point lead for the Bulls. Pippen. Big Pippen. Olajuwon against Jordan. Olajuwon slams it home.
using just one hand gives you a little extra reach and
Burned past Michael Jordan. And the Bulls are up by 5. Jordan returns the favor.
it's more clutch than Jordan. Nerves of steel late in the
Oh
game.
my God. He did not appreciate the previous effort from Olajuwon.
4 left in the fourth.
Fucking yikes. Yeah, you're right. It didn't update. Thank you. I did set it up on Twitch to update, but it didn't. Thank you, Priz.
Over Jamison.
Fade away. No, opts out. Olajuwon to Kenny Walker. Hits the shot.
Keep expanding this.
What an opt-out by Olajuwon. I took that personally.
So yeah, I'd say
It is Olajuwon v. Jordan. Walker trying to guard MJ. MJ gets the 2.
Shot to bring him to within 3.
It is literally the 2 stars going back and forth here. They've traded MVPs.
Clark, they'll take their time.
Will they trade championships? Mobley to Olajuwon. Gets it to go.
you look at him,
The lead's back to 5.
imagine him playing much
Just give the ball to Jordan and let him work. Here he comes. Jordan against Walker. Olajuwon's in there too. Jordan can't get the 2. Olajuwon hands off to Horace Grant,
Intentional foul.
who will be heading to the line. The double team was enough to stop MJ. And no, Grant doesn't go to the line. It might end up being Pippen.
26 seconds.
And it will be.
Fourth quarter. And they go to the
Game 1 of the 1989 NBA Finals, a rematch from last year's finals, again where the Rockets 1-7. The Bulls trying to take Game 1, Scottie Pippen to the line.
Good on the first.
It's the first.
Their lead to 6.
known as an elite defender.
Big shot there for Pippen.
More than capable of shouldering the offense sometimes too.
And for the second,
So he goes.
hits them both. Scottie Pippen.
You know, important for him to come through at the line there. because
Very, very good.
Expand that lead.
Timeout called. The Rockets. They trail by 7.
Home court was the difference last year. Will it be the difference this year? You know, Dominique Wilkins could also be a pretty big factor. On the inbound, Adams, Thompson, they quickly pass it around. Maurice Cheeks to Jordan. Back for Adams, the 3. No good. Olajuwon, the rebound. Hands off to Pippen, and the Rockets wave the white flag. The Chicago Bulls take Game 1 of the NBA Final at home. Big win there after going down 2-0 in the series last year.
That's a wrap for the first.
A statement victory for Olajuwon and the Bulls.
Alder Clark Kellogg and Mike Fratelli. This is
We needed that.
tonight's game.
We did. Olajuwon and company get the win. 107-100. 42 points, 14 rebounds for Akeem, 20 points for Dumars, and a double for Scottie Pippen. Very, very good indeed for the Bulls. It was the MJ show and not really anybody else. Jordan couldn't do it on his own, at least in game number 1. We get ready for game 2. The big question, will Dominique be back? The answer is yes. Jordan moves to his preferred matchup at guard. He won't be 100%, but Dominique Wilkins is back for game 2, and we'll see just how much of an effect that has on this series. It could be massive. However, the Chicago Bulls dominate game 2. 121-95. 33 points and a double from Joe Dumars and a double of his own from Olajuwon and Hobson, for that matter, with 12 assists. It is the complete inverse of last year's series, with the Bulls having a 2-0 series lead after winning the first 2 games at home. It has been reversed outright. Insanity. We go to game 3. Game number 3. The series is not over yet, and the Rockets are off to a very hot start. Chicago battling back. The Bulls are in it. The Bulls have won it. 3-0 for the Chicago Bulls. 116 to 104. The Bulls are 1 win away from ushering in a brand new era. 3-0 for the Bulls. Is it time? Is it time? Can we still use the nuke? It is game number 4 in Houston, where the championship was decided last year. The Bulls battling back again. The Chicago Bulls are going to sweep Michael Jordan and the Houston Rockets to end the Magic versus Bird era. Finally.
Emotional damage.
Some nice ball movement here by Chicago.
After getting my ass handed to me. Olajuwon. Oh, Akeem.
And when he's getting his on offense, it usually
The
results.
Chicago Bulls. I at least won 1. God damn it.
It's Wilkins on the wing. Guarded by
The
Walker.
Chicago Bulls.
And it's Dominic.
The most anticlimactic cliffhanger.
His third foul so far.
We waited the extra 24 hours just to see a sweep.
This grit. Take
Unreal.
not for the faint of heart.
And the Rockets making a change here. Cheeks is checked in.
The Chicago Bulls.
In for Walker.
NBA champions.
Now here's Grant. Pippen.
That one draft, man, where I got Pippen and Dumars. I mean, that was basically it.
Rocket 6.
Olajuwon too, the coin toss to end up in that final 2. Olajuwon.
And so
Let's
another
fucking
incredible
go.
finals draws to a
Jordan may have won first,
already cheering.
but the Bulls get our revenge. How will this affect LeBron's legacy? My column.
Grabbed that rhythm and got the win.
And it wasn't-
Jordan turns it over to Akeem.
Credit, I mean, despite that, they found
The Chicago Bulls, what better way could you come back from getting
Sweep in the final.
the toughest defeat you possibly could? Mobley misses the 3, losing game 7 by a single shot. What better way? Jesus Christ, Michael Jordan.
Are you kidding me? Woo-hoo!
What better way could you get revenge than by sweeping the team that beat you in a rematch the next year?
He brings it up.
Unbelievable.
Outside.
The Chicago Bulls 32 seconds away from being crowned champions as Pippen the floater. My God,
Lead by 17.
what a shot.
Done a phenomenal job silencing this crowd. Now the
Chat had some good teams in this era, but never made it past the second round.
Will help build their chemistry as
The
well.
big difference maker for me, obviously,
Shoots over
the
Pippen.
biggest man on the floor, Mr. Olajuwon, who brings down 1 more rebound. The Chicago Bulls win the Magic versus Bird era in 1989. There will be no Shaq draft in this era. We won before he gets the H.
And to do it with the
The Chicago Bulls.
emotional and so
Scottie Pippen, Olajuwon, Joe Dumars and company
great arena hole.
are champions and get their revenge in convincing fashion over the Bulls.
Job they did
Doogie built the Bulls quicker than they did in real life.
And boy, this is
God.
the moment what they've been working towards all season long.
Feels good, man. Feels good to win one of these. We've had quite the history over the past few years in regards to this versus Twitch chat series. We've had a Draft of Glory versus. We've had a couple of these series now in NBA over the last few years, and it's about time. About time. Handoff. Mr. Olajuwon, your finals MVP, as he and Jordan continue to go head-to-head. It turns out it wasn't Magic versus Bird. It's Jordan against Olajuwon. Hakeem wins his first finals MVP, and the Chicago Bulls are NBA champions. Feels good. It might be the only one that I win, so for now, I'm enjoying it. Dominique Wilkins could not do enough. What a win. What a win, what a win, what a win. The Chicago Bulls, NBA champions with Olajuwon winning finals MVP. And seriously, what a run. I do think, of course, the Clippers were set up decently. Morale's in the toilet for him right now. You guys were set up to be decent. Set up to be able to blow it up heading into the Shaq draft if need be. But the early damage I was fortunate enough to get, thanks to some trades in the drafts, really, really paid off. We were down 3-1 to the New York Knicks and then swept Jordan and the Rockets. And it's because of this man. It is because of this man. 23 points, 13 rebounds a game through the first 5 seasons of his career. And of course, we look at the award history, a 2-time MVP, 5-time All-Star, 5-time Defensive Player of the Year already. Pure dominance and domination from Hakeem Olajuwon leads the way for the Chicago Bulls to close out era number 1. Before we do that, though, for shits and gigs, I do want to check out the lottery just to see what the scenario would have been had I lost that series. Junior Bridgman retires, Julius Irvin, you gotta excuse the New Englander in me. But we'll be ready to go. Oh, not Dick Knox, my team doctor. Julius Erving becomes a Hall of Famer. It's Dr. J, of course he does. He gets his number retired, as does Jamal Wilkes. And we miss out on the second expansion draft in as many years. Of course, it was the first year for the Heat and the Hornets. We will miss the addition of the T-Wolves and the Magic as the Knicks undergo. This one's for Dick. As the Knicks undergo a change, as do the Spurs. 2 more expansion teams, of course. So the league realignment, you still would have, of course, been in the Pacific Division. And I would have been in the Central now with the Orlando Magic. The draft lottery, though, is the question. And the Bulls would have had the 7th pick, thanks to the Seattle Sonics. Let's just skip this really quickly. All right, so it would have been the Bulls at 10, 12, and 18, with the Clippers selecting at 13. So it would have been 3 picks between 10 and 18 for the Bulls, with the New Jersey Nets getting the number 1 pick. Again, not the strongest draft in the world. In terms of the expansion, well, for me, it would have been pretty easy. I would have lost John Sally. For you guys, it also would have been pretty easy just to leave this rando Paul Farmer available. So neither of us would have taken a drastic hit. Although Reggie Lewis... Did I leave Reggie Lewis available? No, that's right. He was on the other team. I'm thinking of the other guy. Kevin Duckworth. We can sim this expansion draft and just see what the teams ended up like. Looks like these 2 teams very much suffered, though, from the expansion draft previously. But the NBA draft, for the hell of it, let's just go through, kind of see what 1989 would have been, because, of course, the next era starts in 91-92. The Nets take Tim Hardaway first overall. The Mavericks would have ended up with Vlade Divac. Take a big center. The Suns take Sean Kemp, third overall. The Magic's first ever draft pick, Glenn Rice. Minnesota Timberwolves at 5. Their first ever draft pick, a generated dude, Dana Barros. So by the time we get to that first pick for the Bulls, I would have had to make it. And it would have been Purvis Ellison as a backup big man. Maybe a Blue Edwards. But yeah, probably Purvis Ellison because of the loss of Walton at this stage. So yeah, just goes to show you, wouldn't have been too crazy of a draft. Turns out I would have gotten Blue Ellis and Purvis Ellison, or Blue Edwards. And then for the Clippers, you guys wouldn't have gotten a pick offer. So, I mean, it would have been someone like J.R. Reed or Doug West. Wouldn't have been anything too crazy for either of us in this particular draft. No particular trades of the picks. Yeah, even for me at 18, I would have had to make that as well, and would have taken another big man in Cliff Robinson. So, who knows? God, I would have had to make another fucking pick. I mean, again, it doesn't matter at this point. This challenge is over. Like I said, I just wanted to get a look at what the situation would have been. Get some black. Vin Baker. I don't think no. Is that the actual Vin Baker? Taking Vin Baker. Celtics legend Vin Baker. Oh God, Clippers. I mean, you guys would have ended up with someone for need. There you go, guys. You got O'Neal. Wasn't Dana Barros a real player? Is he? I don't know. He didn't look like a real player. I didn't recognize the name. I might have been wrong. There you go. You guys did end up with an O'Neal after all. Congratulations. Obviously, you can just be like, sign the dudes, whatever. I just wanted to see what the options would have been. And who would have been a free agent. Obviously, the qualifying offer for Dumars. That's all good, too. And shits and giggles, free agency, Larry Bird. Larry Bird was the big name. Couple of big RFAs, but Larry Bird, Adrian Dantley, Jeff Ruland. I don't know if Bird would have left Boston, given that Robert Parrish didn't either. So, or Kevin McHale, not Robert Parrish. So that is it. Well, Ewing's there, but he's an RFA, meaning he's very, very unlikely to move teams. So with that, we're off to a brand new era, chat. A brand new one. Round 1.